Okay, this is the Richmond automatic tester. We're going to go over a quick overview of operation for the machine. First of all, this top regulator is for the air to pressurize the barrel for testing. This solenoid is the pressure transducer. That will show the pressure inside the barrel when testing. Up top on the machine, there's two valves. One that's normally open, one that's normally closed. These valves allow air to escape if there's a power loss situation. The one normally open valve will be on the exhaust side of the barrel in case a barrel is inside of the machine testing during a power loss, power failure. It will exhaust the air immediately from the barrel instead of holding it trapped in there. The other valve on the intake, inside port, is a normally closed valve, and if it loses power, that will shut off the air going into the barrel. On top of the panel, you have a stack light. It's green for good drum, red for failed drum if a leaker, and yellow is during the test. The bottom of the machine, we have the air regulator for the drum lift and the pin stops. Then you have the two valves, the two solenoid valves. The pin stop valve is the first one on the left. The second valve is the drum lift, up and down. So that has two solenoids on it. They're labeled, drum down on top, drum up on bottom. There's additional auxiliary ports in case you wanted to add a exit kicker, which is optional. You have the output for it in the panel. All you have to do is hook up a valve and a cylinder on the exit side of the machine. Once the laser sees the barrel exiting the machine, it'll activate the solenoid. On the touch screen, we're going to go over the operations. When you first hook up power to the machine, you're going to have to input all these values. Lifter time delay. To put in the value, you essentially just put in 2 point, enter. Fill check time, same thing. That value will be 0 when you initially hook up power. The most important thing here is fill pressure, testing pressure. You can see it says 3.2. That's what you want to have. Our testing pressure is always 3.2. We will initially fill to 3.2 psi. The drum will equalize for 2 seconds, and then it will start the test procedure. Pressure differential is how much pressure loss we're going to look for in order to detect a leaker. So we have it set for 0.4 of a pound. So it's going to detect 0.4 of a pound loss in pressure, and then it will show a leaker. The next screen you need to enter a time in is this manual screen. Lifter up timer needs to be set at 4.5. Go back to auto screen. Now there's also input screens to show what inputs are activated at the time, and output screen show what outputs are activated at this time. When you go to the manual auto screen, you can select auto, and then once you select auto, we hit the reset button on the panel. Make sure the e-stops twist out. Now the machine is on. Conveyor is running. The drum's loaded on the conveyor. It aligns itself in the pin stops. The drum lift will then start lifting. Pressure transducer is showing 3 psi as it equalizes. See, the stack light on top is showing testing processes in progress. This is a good drum, so it's going to show it's going to pass. Once the barrel hits that laser, the pin stops then return back up. This is still the good drum. Once we're done with this good drum, we're going to test the leaker. Our 4/10 of a pound loss, so we show a leaker. If you need to detect a smaller leak in the barrel, you can adjust the testing time from 15 seconds up to 20. Go ahead, you can put it back in. This is where the leaker is. You can see we have a hole that is 1/16 in diameter. That's where the air is blowing out. And it's showing a drop. And you can see it's failed. Let's put the good drum back in. We'll show one more good barrel. See, no leaks. And that's our good drum. Okay, that's good. This machine takes 480 volts input. Let's shut off the machine for a second. I'm going to show you where the grease fittings are. There's a little 3/4 horse motor and gearbox under this cover here. The oil level should be checked at least once a month. There are grease fittings for the pin stops. 4 grease fittings, 2 for each pin stop. There are grease fittings on these bearings. There's 2 4-bolt flange mount bearings at this end, and there are 2 take-up bearings at the other side with grease fittings on them also, on the ends. And then there are grease fittings on the idler end sprockets. So that way this center shaft can rotate independently from these sprockets so they don't bind up. Okay, that is it for the Richmond tester.